Enough with the references to Brat Summers. Enough with the references about not talking about Bruno. I'm going to give you 6 reasons why you need to think twice before dropping pop culture references into your thought leadership content. Look, I appreciate the effort that attorneys go to make their thought leadership interesting and to help it go down a bit easier by referencing pop culture. But they might be making a mistake by going down that route. Here's 6 reasons why. First, when you reference pop culture in your title of your content or in the body of the content, you're prematurely helping the content go stale. By its nature, most pop culture trends are fleeting. Thus, most references to pop culture have some kind of shelf life. That's fine if you've got a social media account focused on today's funniest memes. But it's a problem for thought leadership that you're hoping has a shelf life. Even content covering evergreen topics, think content about best practices or misconceptions, could go stale quickly based on the references to pop culture items that aren't going to be trends or of interest in a few weeks from now, let alone months or years from now. Number 2, there's no guarantee the intended audience will actually know what the attorney is talking about. Sometimes these references can go over audiences' heads. That lessens their interest in actually consuming the attorney's content because they read the headline, they get a paragraph or 2 into the content, and they're just not interested because the attorney or the author lost them by making this pop culture reference. Third, pop culture references could damage authors' credibility and make audience members question their professionalism. We all want to connect with clients and referral sources and other target audience members in ways that make us seem like we're real people and we're not robots. And it's okay to have some informality in your content and maybe even make references to long-standing pop culture pillars like famous athletes or singers or movies. But if you reference obscure or frivolous pop culture items, you could come across as unprofessional. I'll get to more of that in a moment. And you could also come across as trying too hard or coming across as inauthentic, which could eventually drive audience members away, including clients and referral sources. Fourth, good luck finding pop culture references that appeal to everyone in your target audience. Almost by definition, it's hard to cover all audiences with one pop culture reference. Some audiences might know exactly what you're talking about, but others might not. For example, what appeals to younger members of an audience might not appeal to older members of the audience, and vice versa. Likewise, people who are big sports fans might instantly get a reference no matter their age, but people who aren't sports fans might have no idea what you're talking about. This might not drive people away permanently, but it could, again, make them question your credibility, your professionalism, and your authority because they are just not seeing you as someone who's authoritative and credible because you're not talking to them. You're talking to obviously other people with your pop culture references. Fifth, some pop culture references can show a lack of awareness on the part of an author about social issues and how people might feel about them. Obviously, if someone is talking about canceled people like R. Kelly or Sean Buff Daddy Combs or other people, those references could come across as just not aware of the wrongdoing that those people may have allegedly committed or the way that people feel about that alleged wrongdoing. And of course, divisive topics like politics, religion, foreign affairs. You want to stay away from references to those categories, even if they are in the newspaper headlines that day, that week, that month, and on the tip of everyone's tongues when it comes to pop culture. Sixth, pop culture references and thought leadership content can distract your audience from the task at hand. Your goal with your thought leadership content is to build your authority, build your credibility by giving target audiences knowledge and wisdom and insights that help them see you as an authority, as a credible attorney or a credible professional. But when people react to your pop culture references, the way they react, the feelings they have regarding those references could actually distract them and make them shift their focus away from trying to gain knowledge, wisdom, insights from your content. And instead, they're focusing on how they feel based on the pop culture reference, or now they're having memories about the pop culture reference, or they're wondering why you would have mentioned that in an article about white-collar litigation or insider trading or M&A trends. When you drop pop culture references, you actually might distract your target audience, which defeats the purpose of creating thought leadership content. You want them focused on your insights, knowledge, and wisdom. You want to build rapport. You want to establish your credibility. You're not doing that if your pop culture references distract them from that task. It is tempting to inject lightheartedness and fun into thought leadership, especially in areas of the law or areas of professional services where the content just isn't naturally exciting. But you should tread lightly when you inject pop culture references into your thought leadership content. They could do more harm than good. If you're interested in learning best practices for thought leadership content that always hits the mark, check out lawfirmeditorialservice.com. We have more than 400 videos, blog posts, and podcast episodes that could help you do just that.